Let me now turn to the domestic growth situation. Growth in real GDP in the second quarter of this year at 5.4% turned out to be much lower than anticipated. This decline in growth was caused mainly by a substantial deceleration in the industrial growth from 7.4% in the first quarter to 2.1% in the second quarter due to subdued performance of manufacturing companies, contraction in mining activity, and lower electricity demand. The weaknesses in the manufacturing sector, however, was not broad-based, but was limited to specific sectors such as petroleum products, iron and steel, and cement. Going forward, high-frequency indicators available so far suggest that the slowdown in domestic economic activity bottomed out in the second quarter of this year, and it has since recovered, aided by strong festive demand and pickup in rural activities. Agricultural growth is supported by healthy kharif crop production, higher reservoir levels, and better rabi sowing. Industrial activity is expected to normalize and recover from the lows of the previous quarter. The end of the monsoon season and the expected pickup in government capital expenditure may also provide some impetus to cement as well as iron and steel sectors. Mining and electricity are also expected to normalize post the monsoon-related disruptions. I specifically commented on these sectors, that is on manufacturing, on electricity, and also on mining and iron and steel, as well as on cement, because these were the sectors, particularly in manufacturing, mining, and electricity demand, which were the principal factors which pulled down the GDP number in second quarter. So that's why I have focused how these three sectors are expected to behave in the current quarter as well as in the next quarter. The Purchasing Managers Index, that is PMI for manufacturing at 56.5 for November, remained elevated. The supply chain pressures eased in October-November and fell below the historical average. The services sector continues to grow at a strong pace. PMI services remained steady at 58.4 in November, indicating continued expansion. On the demand side, rural demand is trending upwards, while urban demand shows some moderation on a high base. Government consumption is improving. Investment activity is also expected to improve. On the external front, merchandise exports expanded by 17.2% in October, while services exports continued to post upbeat growth at 22.3% in October. Taking all these factors into consideration, real GDP growth for 2024-25, that is the current year, is now projected at 6.6%, with Q3 at 6.8% and Q4 at 7.2%. Real GDP growth for the first quarter of 25-26 is projected at 6.9% and the second quarter of 25-26 at 7.3%. The risks are evenly balanced.